Hi everyone, I'm Wardy with Eat God's Way at traditionalcookingschool.com, and I'm joined today by Valerie. Hi Valerie.
Hi, Wardy.
And Valerie has an amazing story that we're going to talk about today about how whole foods have impacted her blood sugar levels, specifically her hemoglobin A1C test. But before we get into that, let's just hear a little bit about Valerie and her family. So Valerie, tell us about you.
When I was a little girl, my mom joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that
Okay.
changed everything in our life. That was when I was 6. Before I was 6, I was a pretty normal weight, young little girl. Then I had an accident and I tripped and stuck a stick through my left tonsil. It almost went through the back of my neck. It was a pretty traumatic experience.
Ah.
And the thing I do remember is that when I was 6 years old and I started first grade, I had ballooned up to a size 6X. When I was in
Oh,
fourth grade, I was put on diet pills for the first time. And then
okay.
about sixth grade, I was signed up for Weight Watchers. All through high school, I probably did every diet there was out there known to man. And then when I started college, I was put on diet pills again. And I didn't realize at the time that it was really a speed type drug. And,
Oh, yeah.
so I've had a long journey with my
Hmm.
weight. And then in 99, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, and my blood sugar was off the charts. I was
And how
experiencing
old were you
problems.
at this point? How old were you in 1999?
Let's see, I was born in 57, so what, I was 44 maybe?
Okay, wow, that was
Yeah,
quite a delay because probably you could have got that diagnosis a lot sooner, right?
probably.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Okay.
So I was experiencing real difficulties at work where I would just crash. I would just fall asleep. And I was trying to do things like, okay, let me go get a candy bar and maybe I'll get some energy. I didn't realize that I was actually about to go into a diabetic coma and doing all the wrong things. So I went on medication. We never could get my sugars completely controlled. In 2010, I had been on Weight Watchers for about a year and a half, and I had lost from 350 pounds down to around 250 pounds. My blood sugars came down a little bit, but I was still not out of the diabetic range. And then over time, I gained weight back again, and my blood sugars went back up again. Around October of 23, I was working and we were at an outdoor event. It was Texas and it was very hot. And I all of a sudden had black flashes go in front of my eyes and thought, I don't know what's going on, but I have to finish. I was by myself. I have to pack up at the end of this show. And so I just have to do it. And someone came over and brought me some water, cold water, and she said she thought I was having a migraine thing. I had just started on some new diabetic medicine the week before. And I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong, but I moved ahead. Well, it turned out that I had an eye appointment coming up, and they had called me to verify if there were any changes in my vision. This was like 2 days after the event. And I explained to them what had happened, and they said, oh, no, we have to see you right now. And so the next morning, I was in that doctor's office. After they said that, I did some research on the medicine that I was taking, and I read all of the side effects, and I'm like, oh, everything that it's talking about, I got. So when I
You,
saw the
oh,
doctor, I explained that. I took myself off
hmm.
this medicine as soon as I read those side effects. I'm done. In fact, I took myself off all medications I was taking, statins, everything. I said, I'm done. I will die from whatever I have, but I'm not going to die from what you're going to give me. He didn't believe it was the medication, that it
This
was
is I.
the eye doctor. He said he believed it
Okay.
was diabetic retinopathy. I needed to go see a retina specialist immediately. So I went to the retina specialist. I still stayed off the medications, all of them. I explained to her what I thought. She didn't really poo-poo me, but she didn't go 100% along with me either. And I had to get shots in my eyes, both eyes that day. And I was like, no, this is not going to happen. I can't do this. I mean, I did the shots I was supposed to do, but I've got to make changes. And so I started just trying to control my diet better, just on my own. But I still was not eating healthy foods. I was just trying to cut down what I ate. So if we went out to eat, I would only eat half a portion and take the rest home. And so I was trying to do some things. The next time I went to her 3 months later, I didn't have to have shots. I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm progressing. I'm doing the thing. No, the first time it was 2 months. Then she increased it to 3 months. And when I went back on the third month visit, she was like, we need to do shots today. So I had my second pair of shots. And I'm like, no, I just can't do this. I cannot do this. So I'm praying about it. I'm trying to think, what do I need to do? What more can I do to fix this? I started eating a lot of salads, trying to cut some, but I like the good things on salads. So that wasn't as healthy either.
Don't we all?
In July, I had my A1C taken again. That was the day I was at 11.69, and I had not been on any medication since the year before
Okay, so
in
this is
23.
now you
I
stopped
stopped.
medication in 2023. Your hemoglobin was 11 something, hemoglobin A1C in July of 2024. So actually a year ago from when we're recording this, because right now we're in July of 2025.
That's correct.
Okay.
And so she's like, I need you to get on medication. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to get back on any medication. I promise I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this under control. Right after that visit, I happened on a podcast with Tucker Carlson and Dr. Casey Means. She's the person
Mhm.
who's right now up to be Surgeon General.
Yes.
And she said something that just totally turned my life around because she was saying that most of our chronic illnesses could be reversed if we just ate properly and we ate whole foods and we stopped eating ultra processed foods, which I was an ultra processed food junkie. If it didn't come out of a box or out of the freezer, I wasn't really eating it, or out of a restaurant. I got her book. I started reading her book. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure this out. But I really couldn't decide, okay, what do I eat? What am I supposed to eat? And
Mhm.
then I saw a Facebook ad for you about Eat God's Way. And
Oh.
all this happened within a month.
Oh, God is
And so
good.
I immediately ordered you gave some free things away and sourdough and how to do that. And I'm immediately like, okay, I need to do this.
Mm.
And then, because I ordered that, another thing came up on my Facebook for some bakery that sells sourdough bread. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy that bread. And then I'm like, it's $17 a loaf. No, I'm not buying that bread. I can't afford the bread. But he was talking about how it helps your digestive system and it helps with blood sugar if you have blood sugar problems. And I'm like, okay. So I got the stuff out. I'm reading about it, but I still didn't take that step to make the sourdough bread. But I had all the tools. But once I signed up for Eat God's Way and the program and started doing your classes, the basic class is what I started with. And then I started making some of the things. The first thing I made was a pot of beans, and I just started. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. Now, I will
Mm.
tell you, I was still eating, and I still am on occasion eating some processed food that I shouldn't be, ultra, but I'm doing Amy's, and I feel like I know I'm still getting bad seed oils in there, but I think the rest of it is good. And so, because of
Progress.
my work schedule, it just doesn't work for me all the time.
Sure.
And so those are quick go-tos. So then jump forward to 2025 in June, and I had my A1C taken, and I'm down to 5.2, which is out of the diabetic range. The doctor said if no one had looked at my medical history, they wouldn't know I was diabetic at all. I don't know that
Wow.
they can ever tell me I'm not, but my goal is to never be diabetic again. And I have not had shots in my eyes since the second time.
Oh.
So she has now moved me to a 4-month checkup. And my plan is after the next 4-month checkup, I'm going to 6 months and then we're going out a year. I don't really like going to the doctor. I did allow myself to get put on Monjaro after the second A1C where it had dropped to 8.5 or 6. I can't remember the number exactly, but it still wasn't down low enough.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, some friends of mine had been on Monjaro. They didn't have any negative side effects. And I thought, I'll try it. And so I'm still on that medication right now, but I have a goal in mind that by the end of the year, I will be off that medication. I do want to lose some more weight. I'm currently at 175, so I've lost 100 pounds from where I started. And I still want to lose some more to
Valerie.
get to a normal weight.
Yes. Yeah.
But you
Amazing.
have been a godsend to me, and I know that God answered my prayers.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. I just appreciate you sharing this story, which I didn't know all the details. So thank you so much. We watched that very same podcast and it was very good. I do remember thinking exactly what you said was like, but if she's telling people all these things not to eat, what are they going to eat?
I know. It was really kind of
Was
like,
your
okay, now
exact
what do I do?
question. I know, because even when I'm in the grocery store and I am talking to somebody, like I was with a lady at the checkout and she had all these allergies, and she was saying, this is the third year in a row and I just can't function because of my allergies. And I said, well, try not having modern wheat and sugar. And she said, I don't eat any sugar. And she just kept repeating that. I don't know if she didn't notice or she's ignoring me saying the modern wheat, because that's what fixed mine was no more modern wheat and no more sugar. But then when I went home, I was thinking, but that's really hard for people not to eat wheat because, like you said, they could go to the gluten-free things, Amy's or whatever, but then they're getting seed oils or then they're getting synthetic vitamins or they're high starch. So it's like you actually need to learn to make it yourself.
That's right.
And soak the beans and cook the beans, make your own bread. Or if you have $17 to spend on a good bakery, you don't have to make it yourself if you can source it yourself, but there needs to be a solution for what to do instead. And you found that. And I'm just so thrilled. And congratulations on your weight loss, managing your blood sugar, the discipline, the consistency. Valerie, you're just impressive.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm not. I'm just struggling like everybody else, but I'm determined. I will be 68 in a few days, and
Well,
I
happy
am
birthday.
determined to get to a normal weight for once in my life since before I was 5. I'm just determined.
Yes, goodness, what a life you've lived. So many struggles, and you never gave up. I think that's what's the most impressive thing I've heard from you today is how you kept looking for answers and you also hit points. I love how you said it. If I'm going to die, it's going to be not from what you do to me with the medications. My goodness.
I used to be whatever the doctor said, I would try to do it. And now
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, I will decide what I'm going to take. And it's very frustrating. And I don't mean to get off on a tangent, but the doctor tells me that the insurance company is on her all the time. Why am I not taking statins? Because I'm not going to take it. You're not my doctor. You don't get to make those decisions for me. I do. All you do is an administrative function. So back off. And that's how I feel. We have to take control of ourselves. This epidemic is horrible. My heart
Mhm.
breaks when I think about the millions of children they're talking about that are obese or have type 2 diabetes or they're pre-diabetic already.
Yes,
Control.
yes. Well, you were one of those children, although you weren't put on diabetic medications, but you were put on diet pills and other things from a very, very young age. And look at you now,
I was
68 and getting off.
when my mother joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, she quit drinking coffee and smoking, which is part of the church
Yep.
tenets. And she turned all that energy into cooking and baking. She was an amazing cook and baker, and she would have the missionaries over and feed them once or twice a week, and she just went all out. And so we had sweets and treats and things at our home constantly. I had already had this accident with my tonsils, and now I'm starting to think that that triggered something in me because I just started gaining weight like crazy.
Sure.
And so, even from 6, I was the fattest kid in my school. It was very difficult. In fact, when I graduated high school, there weren't lots of overweight people in school. I remember being one of maybe 2, and I was the
Hmm.
largest person that graduated from my class. And my poor mom tried everything in the world to help me get down, and it just didn't happen. At
Sure.
23, I even had my stomach stapled.
Oh,
I'm lucky
okay.
that I lived. The person before me didn't make it.
Oh,
I've done everything.
literally
And I
everything.
think that has really colored my views. I'm just not trusting. I
Powerful.
love the doctor I have, but I'm not going to just blind faith follow you anymore.
Mm-hmm. Because you have from you were 6 years old to now you're 68. And it's really only till you were 67 and you took control of it yourself that you have brought your blood sugar down and lost weight and kept it off and are still losing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's remarkable. So 61 years that they failed you.
And I failed myself because I didn't know better and I didn't research to find out better.
Mhm.
Even after I was diagnosed, I should have realized quicker that I was actually killing myself by what I thought I was doing to get energy so that I could get through my day.
Sure, sure. I mean, I'm not saying yes, you should blame yourself. I think we're all blind in ways until we have a big wake up call. And I've been guilty myself of ignoring things. And then I look back on it and I'm, why didn't I do that sooner or look into that sooner? But for whatever reason, we're not ready. I don't know. But I think what we have to do is just be thankful that we finally took action. We were willing and our eyes were opened enough we just have to look forward and pray that the next time we have an opportunity to do better, that we won't drag our feet. It's a
Yes.
process.
And just remember that when we have a problem, if we take it to the Lord and really sincerely ask Him, He will open the doors because He
Yes.
brought you into my life. I know that.
Aw. Well, thank you, Valerie. What an amazing story
You.
you have. So, what are you working on now? Have you made your sourdough bread yet?
At the moment, I have not. I'm going to be honest.
That's fine.
I do not use heat or air. So at the moment, I don't do baking.
Sure. I
It's
don't
too
blame
hot.
you. It's
Yes.
too hot.
But I have my wheat. I did save and got my wheat grinder. And so as soon as
Great.
the fall hits, I will be at it full force. I had sourdough started this spring and I got it up to within a few days of when it should have been ready to use to make bread and it died. And Holly thinks that it might have been mold that
Oh,
got it.
okay.
So anyway, I'm prepared as soon as the weather cools down just a little bit to get started
Yes.
again and make that.
Good.
And I
Good.
am so excited. I have made your oatmeal breakfast thing. I love that. And I love being able to put pieces of it in the freezer because then it lasts for a long time for me.
Wonderful. So, what do you think has been key? What are your staple foods that you eat that have contributed to lowering your hemoglobin A1C levels and your blood sugar? I guess I'm just curious. Since you
I
do the
am
soaked baked oatmeal, you haven't given up carbs.
No, I have not totally given up carbs. I'm doing the pasture-raised meat. I have a subscription coming that every month, and so I've made your roasted chicken a bunch of times. I love that. I do a lot of roast in the crock pot. I do chicken in the crock pot. Trying to eat a lot of protein. I have difficulty getting enough protein. I know you're really good
Mm,
at eating the same thing, but I get really like, I can't take this again.
sure.
But I do a lot of that, and I don't eat near as many carbs as I used to. Used to be I would eat mostly potatoes and then a little meat. Now I'm eating a lot of meat, and I might have 1 or 2 fingerling potatoes.
Oh, okay.
And I have moved to all organic vegetables,
Hmm.
and so I really have been trying, and then I found a source for my raw milk. I'm trying to do all of that, so I've taken those things out. One thing that's bad is still the Amy's, and I don't eat them every day, but I do eat
Sure.
Amy's, especially like if we're out at a show and I don't get home till 7 o'clock at night, then I'm finally going to eat dinner. It's got to be something
Yeah.
that goes quick. And if I have
Yeah.
something in the crock pot, I can go forward with that. But if I haven't prepared something, then I've got to do a quick thing.
Sure. Sure. That's what life is. 80/20. You do the best you can, and you're doing very well most of the time. So that's why you've made progress because you don't have to
And
be
it's
perfect to make
working.
progress. It's
It
working.
Yes,
Absolutely is.
it is. And
Amazing.
and it will just keep getting better. This
Hmm.
winter, I'm going to do a bunch of your batch cooking and I'm going to have my freezers filled with things.
Yes. Yes.
And that
And
will
when you
make it
get home from a show, instead of pulling Amy's, you're pulling out something you've made out of the freezer.
That's right.
Good for you.
And my sister is eating some of the food. She won't eat all of it, but she's eating some.
That's a process too.
Yes, it's just up to her to figure out what she's going to do. I can't control her.
No, you can't. You can't. Before we wrap up here, Valerie, do you have any encouragement for people who have struggled with their weight and or blood sugar? What would you tell them? How would you encourage them?
I would say just start. Take control. You can do it. One step at a time. It's very overwhelming. The first couple of classes were very overwhelming to me. It was like, I'm not sure I can do this, but I just did it. I started with that first pot of beans and I've been going ever since. And it
Yeah,
does work.
so if you felt overwhelmed, which I understand because we just do, even the simplest thing can be overwhelming if we haven't ever done it before. How did just do it help you? How did you get over that hump?
I just knew what my goal was.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, start with these beans. You can make these beans. We love to eat
Hmm.
beans. So I'm like, I can do this. I've never made them.
Hmm.
No, that's a lie. I had made them about 10 years ago and they came out awful. And so I'd never made
Oh,
them again. We were just doing canned beans. But
okay.
I thought,
Okay.
no, you love beans. Kim likes beans. We can do this. I can do it. And when I was successful with that first thing, it gave me the encouragement to go on to the
Oh,
next thing. When I
that
made
is the
your
truth.
when I made your roasted chicken and Kim said, "Oh, this is really good." I'm like, "Okay, See, we can do it one step at a time.
So Kim is your sister.
She is my sister, yes, and she lives with me,
Okay.
and I do almost all of the cooking.
Okay. Well, you'll win her over time. I'm sure of it.
I will.
What do
It's
the
just that
people around you think?
they are so impressed. Everybody keeps telling me how great I'm doing, and they help keep me going because I do get a little frustrated. Like right now, I've been at a plateau for a little while, and it's like, okay, just stay in there because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if I lose another pound because I'm not going to change what I'm doing as far as
Yes.
eating, except getting better. And so
Yes.
the weight will come when it's supposed to come, and not focusing just strictly on losing weight, but focusing on the health benefits of what I'm doing has
Mhm.
helped me tremendously.
Oh, wisdom right there, Valerie. I love that you said if you gained another pound, it's not going to change what you're doing. That's such the truth because most people, they gain a pound and they think, oh, it's over. No, it's not over. What would you change? I love that you said that. Oh, so
Yeah.
wise. Good for
Well,
you.
I my sister Kim doesn't really have a weight issue and never really has. She could probably lose a few pounds, but she's never has had a weight problem. And so I don't think she really understands how important the changes that we are making are for her future. She's a little bit older than I am, and sometimes older siblings think they know more than the younger ones.
But she can't argue with how good it's doing for you, right?
No, she cannot, and she is very supportive of that. Very.
Wonderful. Well, that's a perfect starting place. Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Valerie. I really appreciate your time and you sharing the story. And for everybody who's watching or listening, if you have any interest in trying Eat God's Way to help balance your blood sugar, lose weight, balance your hormones, heal seasonal allergies, all kinds of things get better when you eat God's Way, then we have information below where you can contact us to check on current enrollment dates and what we have on offer. And with that, we'll say goodbye. Thanks again, Valerie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless you all. Bye bye.